listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's a big world out there, and you're just looking for a pat on the back or head. You run around the city, searching for a place to bark, working your tail off with your nose to the ground, sniffing for a few scraps, hoping someone will throw you a bone. You take each lead, collar after collar, hoping one day to take a bite out of success and become the top dog. Fortunately, you come home each day to open arms, open cans, a drink waiting for you, and a comfortable place in front of the TV set. You know you've got it good, really good, because after all, it's a doggy dog world out there. Pet Life Radio presents It's a Doggy Dog World with your host, pet expert and award-winning author Liz Palaika, and this week's co-hosts Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Hi, welcome to It's a Doggy Dog World. I'm your host, Liz Palaika, and with me today, as always, are my good friends Petra Burke.
Hello.
And Kate Abbott.
How do?
And we're going to revisit a topic that we've talked about in the past, actually a couple times, I think, but it's an important one to us right now, and that's talking about old dogs. Bashir just turned 12. He's my oldest Aussie, Australian Shepherd. Petra's daughter has Bashir's brother. Logan, who's also a littermate, so also turned 12. How old is Keeley now?
Keeley is 11.
A Pomeranian. And
11.
then Kate has Walter, who's a few months older than Bashir and Logan, so also
He's
12.
just over 12?
Yeah. He's 3 months older than Bashir and Logan.
He's Bashir's brother by another mother.
Yes.
I remember 12 years ago bringing him home to you.
Yes.
Do you think?
And you're still friends.
I know.
But we're all dealing with a few issues with our old dogs, and we thought this is a subject that we can revisit because it is important. I mean, old dogs are special. Puppies are adorable, and puppy breath is wonderful, but there's something special about an old dog, especially since, unfortunately, they don't make it to old age, so just like us, every morning's wonderful. But anyway, we thought what we talk about especially is some of the changes you can expect as your dog grows older. I know one of the ones that I've noticed with Bashir is he still plays with Bones, my 4-year-old. He still runs. He can't keep up with him anymore, but he still runs. He still plays. He wants to play. He brings me toys, but he doesn't play as often or as long. And he's more willing to hang out and relax, or my dogs are allowed on the furniture, crawl up on the couch and take a nap. And I think that's fairly common. And he's healthy, by the way. He's had his routine checks, and so he's healthy. It's not a health problem behind the decrease in activity. It's just he's getting a little bit older and slowing down a little bit.
Yeah. Same with Walter. If you've listened to any other podcast, you've probably heard that Walter's Red Ball, made by Planet Dog, is like his cocaine.
Yes.
And he still chases it. I still give it a good kick, and it goes down flying the field, and he flies after it. But instead of maybe 24 runs, he'll do maybe 10. And
then head to the shade and relax for a little bit, and then come back out again a little bit later.
I can get more runs if I don't kick it as far,
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
And then depending with him, it's all the time of day where he can see, his eyesight's going.
Yeah, that's part of it, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and Logan, even though he's a little more slower than Bashir. But, just because they're brothers doesn't mean they have the exact same.
Oh, heavens no.
But, same thing, though. He used to be a ball maniac and everything, but now in his old age, he still likes to get it, and then he'll grab the ball and go lay on the couch.
Yeah.
Got the ball, it's online. I'm good right here.
Yeah.
So Bashir is healthy.
Yes.
So it's just slowing down a bit.
Right.
Whereas Logan's got hip issues.
Losing the strength in his back end, arthritis in his both front legs, and arthritis in his neck.
Well, Bashir's got some arthritis too, but
not to the extent that Logan.
Logan's a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Walter's been okay with joints and metabolism,
yeah.
But he's lost vision in one eye due to glaucoma, and his hearing is going down.
Yeah.
I have noticed a little difference in Bashir's, and I'm probably hyper aware of it because when Riker, one of my previous dogs, lost his hearing, or part of his hearing, some frequencies, I didn't notice it enough. He was such a good boy. He was always with me. He responded to me until he started to get depressed. His veterinarian and I were going back and forth and back and forth. Why is he, does he not feel good? What's the problem? And then one day I talked to him in a different tone of voice, and he perked up, and I realized, then I played with it, and I realized that he had lost the frequencies where my voice normally is. And if I took my voice higher or my voice lower, he could hear me. And then he was happy again. And it dawned on me, my poor dog thought I wasn't talking to him anymore. And how sad is that? No wonder he was getting depressed. But if I took it higher, he could hear me. Now, Bashir, I don't think has lost any chunk of frequencies yet, but I've noticed that at times he's not catching everything.
I noticed that with Logan when Kayla was out here with him. And eyesight in the evening.
Oh, okay.
In the evening when it got dark. Yeah.
Okay.
So, you're seeing it there.
And now Keeley's got some neck issues, right?
Yeah, she's got spondylosis.
Okay.
The neck and the back.
Okay.
Hearing is still fine, but she's still getting she's starting to get the hazy over the eyes.
Right.
Yeah, but still spunky.
And now that Walter can't hear as well himself, or see as well, I used to, when I was leaving the house, I'd just kind of yell out, "Be good," and leave. Well, a couple of times my roommate told me that he had been frantically looking for me. He didn't hear me leave.
Oh, he didn't hear your...
So now I make a point of going to him and telling him, "I'm leaving, you be good," and I give him the wait.
Well, we've seen that here at the training field sometimes, too. If he's chasing a ball or sniffing somewhere and you walk away or move, he gets a little frantic trying to find you.
Yeah, right.
Thankfully, his sense of smell still appears to be good.
Thanks for that.
But since he doesn't see well, and he's losing some of his hearing, and even
when
calling...
he panics, he just flies up and down the field.
Right. Yeah. He's not thinking. He's just, "Oh my God, I can't find Mom. I can't find Mom." Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's a curious combination of him being even more of a Velcro dog than he ever was, but at the same time sleeping so deeply that if I get up and leave, then when he does wake up, oh my gosh, where is she? Yeah.
I remember the deep sleep with Riker and a couple of my previous dogs, but Bashir hasn't got to that point yet. He's not doing those. He can hear me get up off the sofa. Yeah. I mean, there's no issue there. There's no walking away from him. But I remember with Riker and with Dax.
Walter seems to be hitting that stage a little bit earlier than, well, I never liked that stage, but where they sleep so deeply, you walk into the room and you think, your heart stops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you go walk up to them and see they're breathing.
Yes.
It's like, wait, I don't really see a chest move. Let me see. Do I feel anything?
Black dog on a red and black blanket, and I get real clean. I kind of tap my floor and still no movement.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know that if you touch them, they're going to jerk awake.
Oh, yeah, because they're in a deep REM sleep.
Right, so you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I stomp on the floor, and I clap my hands. The other day, I did that. And I have a pier house, so vibrations carry on my wood floors. So I'm stomping away, looking like an idiot in my front, but it's still nothing. And I'm clapping my hands. And still nothing.
Oh, geez.
And I'm whistling, and I'm calling his name high, and I'm calling his name low. And then I start stroking him, and he's still sleeping.
Oh,
no. And now your heart is like...
A stroke. He's had a stroke.
Oh, my God.
Dax,
get a little mirror. Visit a little mirror in front of his nose.
Yeah, well, then, I could feel that he was breathing, but it's like, wake up. And finally, he came gradually. He didn't jerk. He was like, oh, hi. Thank you. Don't do that again.
Dax would go into those deep sleeps. Oh. And she had some significant health problems at the end of her life. And, yeah, what I would do to her is I would go up behind her, and I would tickle her back foot between the pads, and thinking that would get her to jerk a foot and
Right.
But
Right.
Because
and
same
with
thing.
Dax, you want to be a little bit of ways when she...
Right, because
Her reaction would not be like Walter.
Dax was quite a sharp, herding dog.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't want to
I'd poke
stroke
her
her.
with a 10-foot stick.
Yeah. I didn't want to stroke her
peacock
head.
feather and just tickle her
Yeah,
foot.
right.
So you're still like 2 feet away.
No, I figured if I tickled her back foot, I was out of the way.
Yeah.
So, but Riker didn't go through that stage quite so much, but Dax certainly did. She, especially, not saying Walter's there, not at all, but especially the last 6 months or so, Dax really went through that deep, deep sleep.
And I know that when it's hot, he also sleeps deeper. And we've had quite the heat wave
Yeah.
in the last week. But also, I get up in the morning. I'm used to my 2 shadows now, I go to make coffee, and then the other morning it was nope, still in bed. Go back and check. Nope, still in bed. It finally came padding down the hallway, but...
Yeah. Now, one thing that when people ask us about old dogs, and in our dog training classes, we get asked all kinds of questions, and often we simply refer people to their veterinarian. But I know, speaking of Dax again, with her health issues, that's when I really started researching nutrition. And even if the dog's not as active as he used to be, that good nutrition is still important. The body's might not be as effective in digesting or metabolizing food. And not to be terribly gross, but I've noticed that Bashir's tummy is a little more sensitive than it used to be. Some things, if I have a baked potato, I used to be able to toss the dogs the leavings. He can't handle the skins anymore. So now I'll scoop it out of the skins if there's something left. So a few things he's gotten a little more sensitive about, but not terribly so. He's still got a cast iron gut.
A little more, what is it, old ones I had, a little more gassy as they get older.
Oh, yeah, the flatulence. Yeah, thankfully Bashir's is not stinky, but there's a little more flatulence. I thought there was a balloon hissing the other night. Like I said, I won't get too gross, but...
I'm glad Walter's not there at that stage yet.
Keeley gets it once in a while, and you think it was like a little jet engine, because he goes... What was that? And she like takes off and then stops. Like, what was that?
She's like a little brown furry balloon then.
Yeah. Air goes and then choo! And she stops.
Well, the princess probably doesn't enjoy it. As opposed to the guys who are like, have another one,
Bashir didn't react to it at all. I was the one that reacted to it. But he's up on the sofa, and his Netherlands are about 18 inches from me, and I was like, whoa! Actually, it was kind of impressive.
If we challenged the guys, they probably learned to, fart the ABCs.
Yeah.
But not Keeley the princess.
No.
Thankfully, it wasn't a green fog like Riker's. Riker's used to drive me out of the room.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Bashir doesn't take after his brother in that respect. We talked a little bit about the census changing, but obviously...
Before you leave nutrition.
Oh, yeah.
When Walter first lost his eyesight, he got depressed.
Oh, yeah.
Part of it was he was bumping into stuff.
Oh, he bumped into stuff a lot and ran into stuff.
He bumped into a lot of stuff. He slammed into a couple of things.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He gave himself concussions. But he got depressed about the whole thing. And
we have to add, this happened fairly quickly.
Yeah.
It wasn't a real gradual progression at all. Well, he's got 3 different eye defects in that one eye, and it came on fairly quickly.
I do think the first time he slammed into the post probably accelerated the other problems.
Yeah.
That way. But, his eyes were no longer hurting him.
Right.
He has the drops and all of that. But he was depressed, and so someone had told me about a supplement. It's made by a company called Matrix,
As in the movie, but not related.
And this particular supplement is called Zen, Z-E-N, and it is a mood elevator. And what it is, it's mushrooms, and they're not magic mushrooms.
Although they do, they are magic to Walter.
For all I know, maybe they are.
You mean you're giving it to your dog and you haven't tried it?
You know, come to think of it, it's one of the few things I haven't tried.
Oh, my God.
But it has made a difference. Good. So it's just a tiny little scoop added to his food whenever I get his meals ready. And it has made a difference in his attitude. And then I was so impressed with that, I got another one from the same company that's for coats. Mm-hmm. And although my terrier doesn't need Zen... it has made a difference.
Well, no. You haven't asked other people. That's just your opinion.
We just want to hear our opinion.
Well, you were one of the first persons to
I noticed
my terrier and say, wow, his coat's
I noticed the difference in his coat. His coat used to be, Jack Russell Terrier. He's not a wire-haired. He's a short-haired. And
but they're very coarse. His
coat was coarse and prickly. And fairly quickly after you put him on it, I noticed a difference. It's not trying to be a commercial or anything, but it's smoother and it's silkier. Good. It's not as prickly. It's not as coarse.
And the irony is, although I bought it from Amazon, it turns out it's a local company.
Yeah.
Just down the street.
San Marcos.
Yeah, really local.
Yeah.
Really local.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And it's always nice to support a local company.
Yeah.
So, and they have other blends that I haven't tried, but
we should get. When's Keeley's birthday?
She just had one.
We should get Keeley some Zen.
Oh.
We call Keeley the Tasmanian Devil.
You call it. I call her the Wolverine.
Or Wolverine, yes.
She's my princess.
No, she's not a princess. For good reason.
She's a northern princess with a sharp edge.
Yeah. Let's say anybody other than Petra touches her, she growls, showing all those amazingly large teeth in that little Pomeranian mouth. Yeah. So
we'd love to double the dose on the Zen.
Would be interesting.
I will make her some. I will make her some cookies. Only give these to Keeley.
Mushroom cookies.
God, that's funny.
So anyway, yes, good nutrition is important. They may need some extra help, some probiotics, some yogurt, something to help the digestive system, because sometimes the body just needs a little bit of extra help.
Oh, that's true. Walter's almost always gets my almost empty yogurt cup every day, so that's just part of his life.
Well, then also as they get older, joints.
Yeah.
Become an
some
issue.
Supplements.
So supplements for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And pain relief. Sooner rather than later is my idea.
And thankfully we all go to the same veterinarian, but thankfully that's her opinion also. So last year, Bashir and I made numerous trips to the veterinarian to try and find a balance for him with supplements and pain relief, inflammation relief, because he does have some arthritis, some from an old injury and some just due to old age. And I wanted him to go into old age comfortably, not in pain.
Right.
And I wanted him to be able to keep up his activity level as much as possible, because he is an active dog and he's a happy dog, and I want to keep him that way. So it took several veterinary visits and some blood work and things like that, and almost the past year now, he's been on that same program, and knock on wood, he's doing very well. So
you want to keep muscle tone on them because that's just better for their overall health.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hard to do that if it hurts them to walk.
Yeah.
So, and pain is hard on the body.
It's debilitating, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
And thankfully with his regime, I have the option of giving him an extra dosage of his pain relief, so that, say on a Saturday, he's here all day with us at the training yard, and Sunday morning he's sore, then I can give him extra. Or on our RV trips, if he's done a lot and jumped in and jumped in and out of the RV because he will not climb the stairs.
Stairs are for sissies.
Stairs are for sissies. You jump from the ground all the way in, and you jump from the top all the way out. That's just how you do it. And I cannot slow him down. So, if he's jumped too many times, or a lot of walks or climbing, then I can give him an extra dosage. But, that's something that I discussed with his veterinarian.
But because you started early, you have that leeway.
Yes, yes, yeah. We found the place.
And you're nowhere near his max.
Oh, heavens no. He's still on a half dose for his weight, so I can increase it. And I'm sure we'll increase it gradually as he gets older.
Yeah.
All right, well, we need to take a break for our sponsors, so hold on. We've got a lot more to talk about when we get back.
Sit. Stay. It's a Doggy Dog World. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
It's hard to find time for your furry family member. That's where Camp Bow Wow comes in. All-day play and overnight camp, daycare and boarding for dogs. Everything is included. Large play areas for fun and exercise. Spacious cabins, comfy cots, even live camper cams to watch from a computer or smartphone. Camp Bow Wow offers the best care and is the place to go where a dog can be a dog. For locations and more information, visit campbowwow.com.
When we ran out, we stopped using it.
Why would you stop?
Why undo all the good that's been accomplished? We thought everything was fine, and that was not a good thing.
No.
He started stinking. It was awful.
Shedding comes back, loss of hair, lots of dandruff. Scratching will return. His shedding will increase.
If I ever took Roy off of Dinovite, he would go back to his hair loss.
DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
When I get down to the bottom of my box of Dinovite,
when I get to about 3/4,
Oh no, I've got a couple more scoops.
it's time to place my order. Dinovite.com.
Each and every day she is getting that Dinovite.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
just feed your dog right. Use Dinovite. If it's working, don't quit.
Don't do what I did and run out. 859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com. We know you're begging for more. So back to It's a Doggy Dog World with your fetching hosts, Liz Palika, and this week's co-hosts, Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Welcome back to It's a Doggy Dog World. This is your host, Liz Palika, with my good friends, Petra Burke and Kate Abbott.
It's good to have a working relationship with your veterinarian, and it's good to have a veterinarian that you trust so that you can go in. You know, I didn't want her to think I was a hypochondriac, but I went in early and said, okay, look, at that point he was 10 and a half or 11, and I said, I want to keep him healthy as he's going into old age, and I want him to be comfortable and she was all for it. Oh, yes, certainly, okay, here's some options. These are some things we can do.
If this was a video rather than a podcast, we could recreate our expressions, but a couple of weeks ago, one of our students was asking us about something, and then she goes, well, I just don't trust my vet. And I looked over at the two of you, and I realized you had the same look of horror. Why would you go to a vet you don't trust?
Yes.
No. Whether you're right or wrong, if you don't trust them, move on.
Yeah.
You have to have a good relationship.
Yes. And there's give and take on both sides. You have to talk to your vet.
Right.
Don't go in and make your vet do 20 questions. Go in and give your vet as much information as you can. From your perspective, your vet may agree with you or not.
And then listen.
And then listen.
And
then listen. I won't say Kate's the same as I am or Petra, but, you know, when you've had dogs all your life and you know enough to be dangerous, and then there's that damn Google, you know.
Internet. Everything's right on the internet.
Yeah. We can make assumptions that might or might not be applicable to our individual dog. So I usually have an idea, but I go in and I talk to my vet, and sometimes she agrees and sometimes she doesn't. But then I listen.
One of the most common complaints I hear from students is the cost. So when your vet gives you the estimate of all the possible things they can do, feel free to say to them, okay, what's the highest priority? And tell them, okay, money's a little tight. Which is the most important to do and why? What would you really like to do and what's just, extra information?
And will it make a difference?
Yeah.
Do we need to run this test because it will tell us something important, or will running this test simply be another piece to the puzzle? How important is this to do?
When they asked about biopsying a lump on my previous old girl, it was, okay, why do we need to know that? Well, what if she's got cancer? If she has cancer, it's going to show up, and deal with that. But if it's benign, then great, I don't need to spend that extra money, so I'm willing to wait and see. And they said, fine, that's okay with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes treatment, there is such a variety, you may want to start with a basic.
Yeah.
Kind of negotiate. Okay, money is an issue, but will this have an effect? Will I see something? Can we start there and then build slowly? So talk to your vet.
And don't feel embarrassed if you have to say, I'm on a budget.
Yeah.
What can we do? I want to do the best for my dog, my old dog, but what can we do? And I have to admit, with a younger dog, I tend to be more aggressive because I'm a younger dog. But an old dog, we are going to lose the old dogs. So what can we do to keep him healthy as long as possible? What can we do to keep him active as long as possible?
Keep him comfortable.
And then I weigh the pros and cons. I'm not saying I won't do what I can.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But I certainly want to know all my options.
Exactly.
A good vet wants to be your partner with your dog.
Right.
And if you don't have that, there's lots of vets.
Yeah.
So you should have a vet that you trust.
And something that many people seem surprised about, a second opinion is normal in human medicine. Yeah. It's not unusual to ask, I'd like a second opinion. But for some reason, many people seem to feel that it's not acceptable in veterinary medicine.
Yeah,
and
true.
That shouldn't be. You should be able to tell your veterinarian, let's wait a little bit. I want to get a second opinion.
Yeah.
And
you can ask for copies of your records.
Yeah,
exactly.
I asked my vet one time, I said, in talking about this express thing, do you have a problem if people want a second opinion? And she said, oh, no, heavens no. The more you know, the better. And so with that in mind, I've also referred people to her for that second opinion.
Right. Second set of eyes, ears, you never know.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, and moving on from there, old dogs can be emotional.
You think?
Yeah, it's hard for me to notice with the emotional dog that I've always had. But I do notice things.
I think the little difference is a little more delayed now that he's older.
But, and it varies. He does have a little more warn you. I will try to get, he does sometimes try to get himself a little bit more out of the way, whereas before he would stand in the middle and dare everybody.
Although he still does that once in a while, but yes, he does. I think with losing
more often now, he will try
losing some vision and losing some hearing. I think he's finally realizing that he is a little bit more vulnerable.
Yeah,
and
now he used to wait his turn to drink water, and I was just watching him with your boy Pancho. Pancho was drinking, and Walter just didn't even slacken his step, walked right up there, started drinking, and Pancho backed 4 feet off.
Yeah, well, he does that to Bones all the time. They'll come in from running, and Bones will go to the water, and as I'm putting clear water in it, and Walter comes up, shoves his head in, and Bones goes, oh, I was thirsty.
So sometimes I wonder if Walter's playing the old dog card. I'm old, you get out of my way, because I need water. But yeah, I don't know.
Or he likes the power trip.
He just likes the power trip.
Yeah,
And the dogs will back away from the water bowl for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
So.
Yep. And then the other thing too is the Bashir anyway, and some of my previous dogs cling to us.
Yeah.
Bashir is always within arm's reach. Even now as we're recording, he's always within arm's reach. At home, he's always within arm's reach. I haven't gone to the bathroom on my own in many years.
Neither. Keeley these days wants to be carried all the time, most often. The same thing, can't go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
She'd be happy if I could hold her. I'm like, well, there's some times when I'm not going to hold you.
You do have that baby sling.
Right.
All around the house with her.
She'd be happy.
And does that surprise you that Keeley wants to be carried? Doesn't surprise me at all.
She'd really like a litter of 4 Pomeranians carrying her throne while a 5th one bathed her with a peacock feather.
Yes,
yes. Oh my gosh, yes. No, don't give her any ideas.
But,
yeah.
It is what it is. But she'll settle for your aunt's lap, I understand.
Yeah, if I'm busy, then she kind of looks at me almost like, and then turns around and walks over to my aunt and asks for be picked up, and totally content. Then she just kind of like becomes a lop and just I'm good. I'm happy.
She's a fur pillow.
Walter, surprisingly, he will come sit next to me, but he's not as much in my lap as he used to be. But he does still. I've been noticing that more and more I'm getting the nose, and while I'm reading, while I'm on the computer, one hand drops to just touch his back and play with his ears.
Well, he does that here at the training yard, or at least he does to me. If you're doing something else, he'll come over and give me the nose.
Yeah.
And most likely when his beard is wet, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll do that. With Bashir's never been a cuddler, but he's always been close. And the only difference I'm really seeing as far as being close is when he does get up on the bed, he snuggles into the curve of my legs, which he didn't do when he was younger. So I don't know if it's he wants the touch or maybe my heat makes his old bones feel better.
Right.
I don't know. But that's really the only difference. But he is more emotional. He's always stated his opinion quite well. No coughing. No coughing.
Where does he get that from?
No coughing.
We don't know anybody like that.
But he's even more apt to show his opinion now. He's more apt to talk back or, when the kittens are upset. If my foster kittens are crying, he has a fit. Or if my cats are wrestling, he must interrupt it. It must be, no fuss is allowed. Don't fuss. So that's come as he's gotten older. I think the big thing with your old dogs is, love them lots. They're not with us long enough as it is, so love them lots. Pay attention to them.
And don't underestimate them.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So the other day, Liz was going to do a shortened lecture on trick and chaining methods of trick training and asked me to bring Walter as a demo. So I tried to brush him up that afternoon at home on those particular chaining tricks, and I was like, got here and I said, Liz, I don't know if he can remember these. He wasn't doing too well at home.
And I said, do them anyway, because he knows more than these particular students' dogs know anyway.
He likes an audience.
And he loves an audience.
And that's it.
You were boring.
Pulled him out in front of the audience, and he lit up.
Mm-hmm. And he had a blast.
And there was a little bit of confusion on a few things, but he was so happy to be doing it, and then it came back to him.
Yeah.
And he went, oh, that! Yeah!
And the class laughed and laughed and laughed.
They didn't notice he was off.
Yeah, they didn't.
To them, never seen him doing it. It was normal. For us, he slowed down. But for them, they were impressed.
And he showed them exactly how much fun trick training can be.
Yes.
And that an older dog can do it.
Yep.
And that he can have fun with it.
And with their personalities, they can work a crowd.
Yes. He still got that.
Yep.
He's still got the I'll be here all week. Yeah. Sort of thing. He loved it, yeah. It really charged him up.
And you know, with Bashir, usually I don't ask 12-year-old dogs to be a demo dog in front of a basic obedience class. I don't want him to have to repeat the same things over and over for 12 years. But he likes it. He wants to do it. If given the choice of going out there in front of the class or not, he always chooses to go out in front of a class. And some of the exercises, the watch me, the heel off leash with the watch me, he just prances. He's so proud of himself. He just prances. That arthritic body gets going, and he loves it. And even more fun is if we have some new assistant trainers that we're teaching how to do it, I will let them demo with Bashir. And he's not push button. He doesn't just do it automatically. You've got to give him the right cues. And if you don't give him the right cues, he's going to embarrass you in front of a class.
He's like that old man that likes to tell jokes.
Yeah.
He's like, got this one.
And one of our trainers, when she first started with us a couple years ago, when, of course, he was a couple years younger, he got her all turned around in front of a class so that when she bent over with her butt to the class. And that's a no-no. You don't do that.
And he was snickering behind his
He
mom.
was laughing. And later, when I told her what he had done to her, she was all, oh, he did! He did! But, you know, he's got a lot more experience teaching classes than she did.
The local agility club, they hold a lot of meets and things, but every now and then they will do, and now we will have so-and-so a veteran. A friend of mine with his, I think she was 14-year-old Malinois, and she had been a speed devil agility champ, but they let her, in the crowd, come out and do another agility run. Now, she creaked around, nowhere at her old speed.
Oh, sure.
But she went up that A-frame and over the teeter-totter and through the tunnel.
Awesome.
And she had a blast. And the crowd was roaring, and she was reliving her past glories.
And her dad, I bet, had tears in his eyes.
There wasn't many dry eyes in the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, as we were all cheering her on.
Many of the breed specialty clubs do the same thing. They have veterans classes for certain things. And it's so wonderful to see that creaky legs and gray face go out and go, yes, I'm still here. Because a lot of times the old dog gets not necessarily pushed away, but left at home while the young dogs go out and have their glory. And so it's nice to let the old dog have the spotlight again.
Yep. Walter sure loved his.
Yeah, I did.
All right, everyone. Well, love your old dogs. Give them hugs. Keep them active. Talk to your veterinarian. And just treasure them. And that's it.
All right. Spoil them.
Give them a hug from us.
Bye-bye.
Having a rough day? Longing for the dog days of summer? Think your fun furry friend lives a dog's life? Well, find out everything you're begging to know as Pet Life Radio presents It's a Doggy Dog World with pet expert and award-winning author Liz Palaika. Every dog has his day, and you'll find out how to make your dog's day fun and rewarding. Every week, on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.